Today's video talking all about spouse visas. Spouse visas are for those people who are married to British nationals or people who are present and settled in the UK. So if you have an indefinite leave in the UK, or you have British nationality, or even if you're on a refugee status or humanitarian protection, you can apply for a spouse visa. The requirements, there are financial requirements, there is an English language requirement, there's the accommodation requirement, and of course, most importantly, is the relationship requirement. What do you need to prove? What sort of evidence is required? How long does it take? All those questions answered in this short video today. So, getting straight to the point, first of all, the relationship. You can either be unmarried partners who have been cohabiting as husband and wife for over 2 years. On that basis, you can apply, or you need to be legally married. Now, religious marriages do not count unless carried out in a country which recognizes that religious marriage. So be very clear about it. Secondly, you need to show that you've got the marriage certificate. If it's in a different country, if it's in a different language, you need to provide a certified translation. Then when you come to the financial requirements, then we are looking at a requirement of £18,600 a year. That does not mean that you have £18,600 sitting in your account and that's fine. No, it isn't. That means that you need to show that you are earning over £18,600 per year. Now, if there are children involved as well that are applying for a spouse visa or applying as dependents on the spouse visa, rather, I should say, then they are added on to that. So income requirements go up. So if it's one child, then the income requirement from 18,600 goes to 22,400. And then each additional child that is being added will will incur an additional requirement of 2,400. So depending upon how many children are applying with your partner or with your spouse, the income requirements could be looked at like that. Now, the most important thing about the income requirements is how do you prove it? Now, the easiest one is when you are employed. If you're employed with the same employer for over 6 months, then 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statements corresponding to those pay slips or showing amounts corresponding to those pay slips coming in will work. You also have to have a letter from your employer, and if you are self-employed or if you have a combination of employment plus self-employment, how long you've been doing that and all that, when you go through Appendix FM, there are lots of different categories that you can choose from, because every category will carry its own list of documents which is called specified evidence, and if you do not have the correct specified evidence, your application can be refused. So it's very important that you look at the specified evidence. Third thing I want to talk about is the English language requirement. The English language requirement obviously does not apply to people who are applying from English-speaking countries. So if you're a national of an English-speaking country, you're applying from South Africa, you're applying from the UK, you're applying from the US or anything, Australia, New Zealand, wherever you're applying from, if that is your nationality and you're applying for a spouse visa to come to the UK, if the country is an English-speaking country and you're a national of that country, you don't need to pass an English test. But if you do need to pass an English language test, then the test is at a very basic A1 level. Now, simplest thing to do is just Google Home Office specified test centers. I always suggest going for Trinity because that seems to be the no hassle, no problem one. You can simply check which one is closest to you in physical proximity, or whatever is easier for you in terms of getting an appointment and getting it done as soon as possible. Please remember that once you get a spouse visa, that is only for 2.5 years. You need to complete 5 years on a spouse visa to be able to apply for indefinite leave in the UK. And in order to get an extension, you will need to have another English test which shows that you have progressed from the A1 level to at least A2 level. So when you're applying for an extension, you must have another test which goes on to a certain level. The fourth thing which is required in these applications is the suitable accommodation. So suitable accommodation simply means that wherever you're living, your partner and your children, whoever is coming, can live there without making the property statutorily overcrowded. Statutory overcrowding means that whatever the the statute, whatever the law allows, how many people can stay in one house, it should not go over that amount. I have seen families in a one-bedroom flat where there are 4 children, the husband and wife plus the mother-in-law, and they all are very happy staying there because they have no issues. That's not how it works. You can't just put mattresses around on the floor and say everything's fine, everybody can sleep there. It works as an informal kind of arrangement, but according to the law, when you're making a spouse visa application, you need to have suitable accommodation. I've tried to give you a very quick background. Now, there are some questions that generally come up. Generally, there is always a question about, oh, I've done a degree from the UK. Do I still need to do an English test? No, you don't. If you've done a degree from the UK, that will suffice. Number 2, about the income. A lot of times the questions come, oh, I was working in this place, then I moved jobs. Then what happens? You need to go back to Appendix FM. You need to look at where is a suitable category that applies to you, because you need to get the right specified evidence together. Relationship requirement. A lot of times, especially from Islamic countries, the question that I get is, oh, I've got a wife here and I've got a wife over there. We have issues having children, so I went back home, I got married over there, and now I want to bring that wife over. You can only have one wife at a time. You can only have one spouse at a time legally married to you. So if you are legally married to somebody in the UK, then you cannot have another one without divorcing or, well, producing a death certificate for that person, because the only way to get out of a marriage is either a divorce or death. So it seems quite bleak like that. But anyway, moving on from there, like I said, the relationship requirement can also be satisfied if you have evidence of cohabitation for 2 years. I've just gone through the 4 points. I've then gone through them again just to reinforce the points. If you have any questions, of course, as always, you know where to find me. My name is Ali Bukhari. I am the principal solicitor at Bukhari Chambers in London. We are a solicitors firm. I am duly qualified as a solicitor, as well as my qualifications are as a barrister since 1997. So, if you wish, you can discuss with me. Go to our website, please, bukharichambers.com. You can book an online consultation there. I do all my consultations over video or over telephone, and I'm happy to answer all your questions. And you get 2 kinds of consultation options there as well. So do check out our website. And if you would like to have a discussion with me, please let us know. Thank you very much for listening.